You can almost hear it tonight, that soft the world makes when the day is done. The crickets, steady as a heartbeat. The far-off whistle of a train somewhere down the valley. And if you close your eyes, you might even smell it. The faint sweetness of honeysuckle drifting from the fence line. The warm scent of dust after the sun's gone down. Out here on the porch, the air feels like velvet. The kind of evening that holds you, the kind where time slows down, and you can almost believe the world hasn't changed much at all. I find myself thinking, as I often do on nights like this, about the old general store down on Maple Street, the one I ran for near 40 years. Just a narrow wooden building with a red tin roof and a bell above the door that never quite rang the same way twice. That store and the people who passed through it became the rhythm of my life. So, tonight, I thought I'd tell you about it. Not the big stories. No, just the small ones. The kind that rest easy in the heart. Morning always came soft on Maple Street. The sunlight would spill slow over the trees, painting the windows gold before anyone had even stirred. I used to walk down early, before the rest of the town woke. You could hear the hush of the world then, the rustle of leaves, the squeak of the old wooden steps as I opened the store door. The bell would give a little jingle, shy and sleepy. Inside, everything smelled the same way it always did. A mix of coffee grounds, flour dust, and sweet pipe tobacco. There was comfort in that smell, like a promise that the day would be kind. I'd switch on the single light bulb that hung from the ceiling and let it warm to life. And then I'd just stand there for a moment, hands in my pockets, listening. The quiet hum of the refrigerator, the soft tick of the clock on the wall, the world waiting to wake. By the time the first footsteps sounded on the porch outside, the sun would have climbed up over the pines, turning the glass jars on the counter into little lanterns of light. The first to arrive most mornings was old Mr. Harper. He'd been retired from the post office for years, but he still liked to walk down for his paper and a cup of coffee. He always wore the same hat, tilted just a little too far back, and he had this way of tapping the counter twice when he talked, like punctuation. "Morning, Sam," he'd say, and I'd hand him the paper before he even asked, folded just how he liked it. Then there was Mrs. Larkin. She'd come in right after church on Sundays, still wearing her floral gloves. She didn't need much, just some sugar, maybe a jar of preserves, but she liked to stand by the front window and talk about her garden. I'd listen, pretending to know something about dahlias and marigolds, though truth be told, I never could keep a plant alive for long. Sometimes little Tommy Cooper would run in barefoot, his pockets full of marbles, asking for a penny candy or a bottle of soda. He'd grin wide, freckles bright as the morning light. I used to give him an extra piece every now and then, just because it wasn't much, just small moments. But when you live in a small town, those small moments, they're the threads that hold everything together. There was a certain rhythm to life back then. Not rushed, not loud, just steady, like a clock that never hurried, but always kept time. Every afternoon around 2, the sunlight would pour through the big front window, and dust motes would dance in the beam like tiny stars. That was when I'd lean against the counter with a cup of coffee and just watch the street outside. Children pedaling bicycles, neighbors pausing to talk beneath the elm tree. The sound of the screen door of the cafe across the way. Thwop, creak, thwop. Some days, it felt like the whole world was just a soft song, playing slow and easy. I remember a summer afternoon when the town's old cat, we all just called him Whiskers, wandered into the store, made himself right at home, stretched across the counter, and wouldn't budge. Folks took to bringing him little treats, bits of cheese, a saucer of milk. He became part of the store after that, like one of the fixtures. And on quiet evenings when the last light was fading, I'd see him sitting in the window, tail flicking slow, watching the fireflies come out. I suppose that was his way of closing up shop for the night. The truth is, when you run a place like that long enough, it isn't the money or the merchandise you remember. It's the people. There was young Martha Jenkins, who used to come in with her baby every Wednesday afternoon. She'd buy flour, milk, and always Always, a small box of chocolate drops. Said they reminded her of her father. There was Ben Carter, the mechanic, who'd lean against the counter talking about the old cars he fixed up in his spare time. He could make a carburetor sound like poetry. And then there was Ella, my late wife. She helped me at the store from the very beginning. She had this gentle way of greeting folks, like she'd been expecting them all along. People used to say that when Ella smiled, you could feel it before you saw it. We'd share quiet lunches in the back room, sandwiches wrapped in wax paper, coffee in tin mugs. And sometimes on slow afternoons, she'd hum along with the radio. Those old songs from the 50s and 60s, soft and sweet. Even now, when the night gets real still, I swear I can hear her voice drifting in the air like it never left. The store changed with the seasons, like everything else. In spring, I prop the door open and let the breeze roll through, carrying the scent of lilac and rain. In summer, kids line up for cold soda and ice cream sandwiches, their laughter spilling down the street. Autumn brought baskets of apples, jars of cider, and the smell of fresh-baked pies from Mrs. Larkin's kitchen. And winter meant creaky floorboards, fogged-up windows, and the glow of the old potbelly stove keeping everyone warm. Each season had its sound. Each had its color. And together, they painted a kind of quiet happiness that no photograph could ever truly catch. Of course, time doesn't stand still. One by one, new things came, supermarkets, chain stores, bigger roads. And little by little, Maple Street grew quieter. I remember the day I took down the open sign for the last time. The bell above the door gave one last jingle, soft, almost like it knew. I walked through the aisles, running my hand along the worn wooden shelves, remembering every story those walls had seen. It didn't feel sad, not really, just full, like a book whose pages had all been read and loved. And even now, when I drive by that old building, the paint a little more faded each year, I swear I can still hear echoes, footsteps, laughter, the quiet rustle of a paper bag being folded closed, the sound of life moving gentle and slow. So here I am on this quiet porch tonight. The moon's hanging low over the trees. A soft wind carries the scent of pine and night-blooming flowers. And somewhere out there, a dog barks once, then settles down again. I think about that store sometimes, about the people, the stories, the everyday kindness that filled those walls. It wasn't grand or important or loud, but it was real. And that, I think, is what makes a life worth remembering. The world moves faster now, brighter, louder, busier. But there's still something sacred about the slow moments, the ones where you pause and just listen to the night, to your own heartbeat, to the memory of a place where everyone knew your name and every small kindness mattered. If you ever find yourself missing that kind of peace, just close your eyes and picture it. A wooden door with a brass bell above it, shelves lined with jars and tins and small wonders, the smell of coffee and sawdust, the sound of someone saying your name like it means something. Maybe the store's gone now, but the feeling, that gentle rhythm of belonging, it never really leaves. It lives in every quiet evening, every front porch, every shared smile between old friends. So rest easy tonight. Let the crickets sing you home. Let the memories hold you, and may your dreams be kind. Good night, friend. Sleep well.